Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to make this Rebel stream. It's not where I wanted to be, but I said I was going to come on in some capacity at 9:30, and at this is my only option. Okay, so first of all, let me just say that over at Archie's live stream, they're doing some proper watch talk. So kudos to him. I mean, a lot of drama recently, but I've got to say, excellent watch talk. If I wasn't streaming that, if I hadn't promised to be on, I'd be over watching the gentleman talking about servicing watches and the watchmaker. So utmost respect for Archie for having him on and for that guy to be on. And so I don't want anybody to think that this is sort of a slight to Archie or his guest at all. I just said I was going to come on. People expect it, but feel free to jump over there. You probably should, because again, it's some quality watch talk. In fact, if I had jumped on, that would have been kind of awkward. I definitely would have faded into the background and let that guy do his thing, because that's some quality watch talk again. But we'll go into what Archie responded when I asked him. Okay, first, Dr. Rolex, Mark, the PhD. He says, it wasn't a great stream to crash. Absolutely. I don't think so either. Honestly, decent stream today from Archie. Absolutely. Yeah, it was awkward. I was almost like a little glad that he didn't let me on, because again, the guy was on a roll, and you know, so it is a decent stream, and so I'm going to watch it later for sure. Okay, so you're probably curious, how it went down. Let me just read the message just so you guys understand. I posted something in the chat, drop the link, Archie, or something like that. Okay, and so he didn't, no response there. And then I sent him a WhatsApp message. I said, am I coming on? Question mark, because yesterday he was going back and forth. He couldn't decide whether to have me on or not, and really paranoid about me doing him wrong and that kind of stuff. But he responded to my, am I coming on? Okay. You are a fucking cunt. Go fuck yourself. You are a fucking traitor. Okay. So I'm out. I'm out as far as Archie goes. I didn't want it to come to this. I was offered to be on. I'll get the link there in a minute, Clive. I know you're there, and anybody else can come on. But he offered to have me on. I said okay, and then he said, I think he checked with a person that is funding him and that he answers to, and that person said charge him. So he comes back to me and says, it's got to be $100, and that's like somebody saying, hey man, you got to come to my party, and then saying okay, and then it's like 12 hours later, you'd be like, yeah, you got to give me money to buy the keg 100%, or you got to supply the alcohol for everybody. It's like, maybe that's not a good analogy, but anyway. Okay, so I'm going to drop the link in a minute, but yeah, I know you guys like watch talk, but I feel like we sort of have to go through this kind of gossipy stuff just to kind of be done with it, and then we can move on to watch talk, and that's what I definitely want to get to. Because that's what people like. And so feel free to put your comments in the comment section and, questions and stuff. But here's kind of my feelings on the Archie and Tim and Marco and all that kind of thing. Archie, look, he's looking for people to come on, and the biggest sin is that you have any sort of success. It's like there's kind of three scenarios if you go on. Number one, you're sort of a laughing stock, however charming you might be. And I'm talking about Loudmouth Tim. I mean, he's kind of funny. People sort of like him. Um, but that's sort of one scenario. All right. Scenario two is you're just good enough to be interesting. You don't have any sort of other YouTube channel or whatever. You're just good enough to sort of be interesting and to bring in the super chats. And that's sort of the ideal scenario for him because he wants to use you. All right. And then the other scenario is if you start to succeed. And that's the biggest sin. And basically, it's a no-win situation. And I knew that going in. In fact, probably better that I didn't get on because I think it probably would have gotten really ugly. All right, to be honest. But it's sort of like, you know, you're either working for him or your competition. Is like all or nothing thing. He is incredibly possessive of, well, everything. And as far as you know, people succeeding, then he doesn't want that. And you know, he talks about the amount of money that Marco has made and Tim has made. And keep in mind, these guys spent months helping him out, and it was a win-win situation. And Tim started doing well on his own live stream, and Archie couldn't stand it. He was doing well too, but it was just like he just couldn't stand to see Tim doing well too. And of course the charge was Tim stole my super chats and my big donors and stuff. Look, I mean, Archie's a capitalist, and well, he's a capitalist when it suits him, it appears, because the donors made their own choices. And if they're getting something from Tim that Archie's not giving them, he's got to figure that out. It's not really Tim's fault. I mean, it's sort of getting on Tim because he succeeded. And let's just keep in mind that Tim and JJ and Marco really brought a lot to that show. And so the fact that he couldn't work with them and that their success irked him so much, well, it just sort of shows you what kind of person he is. And he's pretty honest about like his boundless greed, and it's true. All right, and I've always kept Archie at arm's length, and this is why, because it really never ends well. And so I thought I would give it a try and sort of try it. Okay, obviously it didn't work. Now, you can really tell genuine hatred from real hatred, kind of manufactured. And by the way, a lot of people think like this is some like show or like scripted, and Tim and Archie are sort of like conspiring, and it's a script. It's not a script. Okay, this is 100% real. I assure you. All right, but it's you really can understand the real hatred when because the worst thing you can do on YouTube is to not talk about somebody. All right, not give somebody oxygen, and so that's really if you want to snuff them out. And so the fact that he didn't acknowledge me yesterday at all or today, just not by name. So I mean that is totally calculated. He wants me to fail. All right, so that's the way it is. Not a big deal. I knew he was like this, but I wanted to go on and have an honest watch talk. And again, I didn't want to step on that watchmaker's toe. So maybe it's better I didn't, but he doesn't want that to happen. And so that's that. Let me drop the link and we could do some watch talk. We are done with the drama today. That's it. I will leave with this. My only advice to Archie would be careful who you listen to, right? Just because somebody is funding you. Well, this is your show. All right. You have to take responsibility for your show, for your WhatsApp group, and you're giving the power to another person that's paying you. It's not really your show anymore. And really be careful about who you're listening to. I don't think you're getting good advice. I think this community doesn't need to be fractured. I think it could be a lot more fun if people were going on each other's streams. It doesn't have to be a competition. But if you look at it as a zero-sum game, I guess it has to be like that. So I think Archie is getting some bad advice from the worm in his ear. It's a toxic worm. So I'm done. I'm ready for watch talk. I don't know about you guys. Let's talk watches. Here's the link. Feel free to jump on. 71 people. All right. My mouth is so dry. I was so nervous. I'm almost glad he didn't let me on because like I felt like I was going to some like high pressure job interview or something. So I think it worked out. But you know, he cut me off, and I don't have to think about sort of whether I rebel stream against him or not. I can just forget about the guy. And so I guess maybe it works out better like that. All right. Sorry. As soon as anybody jumps on, we can start talking watches, or just throw a comment in the comment section. The Rancher is on. Rancher, we got to keep it watch related. Okay. I don't want the drama. All right. I don't want this to turn to a drama thing. I'm trusting that you're going to come out with just watch talk. Oh, we got Dr. Rolex in the house. We got the Rancher. Awesome. Yeah. How are you?
I'm good.
Someone's got a window open. I just like to say, I consider myself.
Okay. So Mark, yeah, just put those on. It's a portal you go through. Everybody gets on and does the.
It's a rite of passage.
The feedback. It is.
And yes, absolutely.
Oh man.
Let's leave the drama behind.
Let's do it. Oh God. I've got the shakes here. I need something stiffer than this, but it's too early. So, all right. So what is that in your avatar? It looks like my Seiko speed timer. What is that?
Okay. Now this, okay. Everyone's heard. And of course, I know everyone gets tired of me talking about. Hello? Mm-hmm. I know everyone gets tired of me talking about vintage Omega Sports, but everyone's heard of the Chronostop, right? The 1 second, the chronograph with only with no registers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a special kind of chronograph. Of course, they are doing it. They put the Seamaster on everything. That is an oversized chrono. So it's a Chronomat Seamaster. So it's oversized. It's like 42, 43 millimeters. It's got an internal diving bezel, which is controlled by the crown at 10. So basically, you've got a crappy stopwatch and a crappy diver at the same time. But I think these things have been thoroughly overlooked, and I think they're great. I think it's modern, usable vintage.
Okay, so what year is it? I'm trying to find a image for it.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
The reference number. No, this is how old it is. Mm-hmm. The Omega reference number is 145.008.
Okay, 145.008. Yeah, that's early.
At the wall like Spider-Man. Dr. Rolex has superpower. Oh wait, okay.
Marco, great to see you, man. Great to see you. All right, let's take a look at this thing, and let me get okay.
Dr.
So,
Rolex, if I may suggest, if you have like another window open, close it. But so yeah, only StreamYard.
Okay, I'm gonna get you in a minute, there, Dr. Rolex. Just let me bring this up real quick. All right, that's it, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's try Dr. Rolex. Still getting it.
My headphones are not working.
Don't worry, man. We'll get you on next time, maybe, or something. So, all right.
Can you plug maybe wired headphones into your laptop, your computer? That might help.
Here, we'll listen to him.
Hello?
Can you hear me right now?
Yes.
Look, Austin, I just wanted to say, wanted real quick, because I actually have to go to work. I just wanted to thank you in person for everything you've done. Like, I've spoken to you before, and you know that you essentially inspired me to start my channel, and it's been it's been so much fun,
Mhm.
and I can't thank you enough. Seriously.
Thank you, man.
Thank you,
I
man.
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it.
You here, while I speak, I'm just going to mute you.
Mute you.
So weird hearing yourself. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mark. And look, guys, if you don't know Mark's channel, Dr. Rolex, PhD, Mark, put a link to your channel in the chat. You can also drop one in the comment section. But it's awesome. It's a great channel. It's a lot like my channel in the sense that he's a Rolex lover. He's kind of he just talks his mind and speaks his mind about Rolex watches. He took a trip to RSC once, and just the same kind of stuff I do. It's like, if you like my stuff, you're going to love his stuff as well. So, Mark, thank you. I do appreciate that. All right. Have a good day at work. All right, guys. So,
well, and let me also bring this up. You're instrumental, I think, for a lot of people, because I think you were one of the first people, along with Simon Crane, because you were actually approaching it from the standpoint of your average everyday collector, your average schmo getting into the hobby, which I liked. And, and what's as interesting as almost as much as the watches is the people that collect them.
I agree. Simon Crane, I mean, he got me into it, and he was, for those of you who don't know, he doesn't have a channel anymore. He just doesn't post, but he was, or is, a butcher, and just had a really modest collection, but just had a love for watches. And I mean, he used to make videos in his bathrobe in the kitchen at night. I mean, just like it was, but it was interesting. He was interesting, and he inspired me too, because I was like, wow, I mean, if this guy can do it, then I can do it. And so I did. And so I wish he was still in the community. He still, I think, has watches. He got a Rolex 16610 tritium dialed date Submariner, and after that he was like, I'm done. And but anyway, he was a cool guy. And
well, he also had the Grape OP. So.
Well, he had a great 34 millimeter OP, and the thing is, he has a daughter, and that was strategic because that's the perfect watch. He'll wear that. It'll be his watch. He'll put miles on it, but then she will get it. And it's thoughtful because it's a 34 millimeter grape dial OP, perfect for a girl. It's like, how selfless is that? I mean, buying a watch for yourself that your daughter can wear. So that was really pretty cool on his part. So yeah, that'll be a great watch for her. So looking at the Seamaster, okay, what do you think about the lack of registers? Because I have a Speedmaster, a Seiko Speedmaster, and the lack of registers, I hate it. It's useless to me.
Well, it depends. Now, if you're actually going to use it as a as a chronograph, you're right, because all you can do is basically time. You have to keep track of how many times it goes around.
Right. Yeah.
But realistic. So the chronostop is meant to be like it's almost like the chronograph junior. But like, for instance, I like pouring an espresso shot, so I think it's perfect for that.
Okay,
so if it's under a minute, you use the chronostop. If it's over a minute, you use the diving bezel.
Okay, but it has a diving bezel?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's
because
what
this one
doesn't. That's what the crown is at 10 o'clock.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Wow, that's nice. Okay, I didn't realize that. So that rotates. That's awesome. Okay. I mean,
I do love internal bezels.
Yeah, they are really neat. In fact, this could be a great sort of one watch if it had a totalizer right here, and if you just put a date and maybe a day. Now mine has a date and a day. It's the 1970 speed timer from Seiko. I can actually pull up.
Well, and that's just a matter of preference. That's a matter of preference, but I can't speed. It's not like the it's not like the Speedmasters have dates. That's the Speedmaster Reduce that has it. So, and I like the cleaner symmetry of the dial. But this is vintage, and you can pick these up. And also Matt is pointing out the Longines Legend Diver has a fantastic internal rotating bezel. But you can pick these things up relatively cheaply, inexpensively. They've been unnoticed roughly. And pick one of those up on a strap. I think I got this one like $1,500 US dollars. My watch guy basically found a nice little bracelet for it, aftermarket. So it's not trying to pass itself off as a authentic bracelet, but wearable vintage for just an astoundingly cheap price.
Okay, so some of these have totalizers, some of them don't. This is basically what I have. Kind of a crappy picture here. In fact, I believe, is that me? No, it's Jay Anthony. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got it for, I got it off of, oh, here it is. Here's a good picture. I got it off the internet, and what is it? Yahoo auction, and it runs slow. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. In fact, that's like one of the watches I want to sell. What would you sell this for? I'm curious. What do you think you could get for it? Just off, I mean, I know that you haven't done any research on it, but what do you think? A 1970 speed timer.
That is a nice watch. I'd be at a loss. I mean, like I said, I've got a Pogue. I've got a couple of other vintage references from there. But
yeah, there you go, Pogue.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. Now that's a highly collectible watch. I would hold on to that. That's beautiful, beautiful color. I mean, beautiful dial. It's got a totalizer.
It's the story. It's the story. It's the totally unauthorized Maverick rebellious space watch.
Yeah. And I think just like less than 10 years ago, that space watch sold for like $6, $7, $8 or something like that. It sold for like a really cheap price. And I think it's at the Seiko Museum now, if I'm correct. But anyway, I just remember. Yeah. So anyway, that's one of the things.
But when you think, and on top of the story, that was also still like one of the first automatic chronographs as well. On top of that, so roughly came out. We could sit here and we could come to blows as to whether or not it was the Tag Heuer, whether it was the Rolex, and what was the other one? Oh yeah, the El Primero.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Okay, moving on, talking about what we love, Rolex. I mean, are you a Rolex guy these days? Or have you ever been a Rolex guy? Not as much as me, probably.
Dude, I've had a few Rolexes in my day.
I know you have.
Yeah.
You've always been cagey about what they were, though. Can you give us? I know you don't like to talk about them. I don't know. Maybe you think it's like a danger, security risk, or something. But can you give us a number of Rolexes that you have? Like what? How many? Well,
I'm actually in the process of consolidating. So if I have my way, it will be 0.
Wow. All right. So that doesn't answer my question though. You could have 10. You could have 15.
Yeah. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 5, maybe.
Okay. All right. So of those, what do you have? I mean, I feel like I'm asking. He's so cagey about his watches. I feel like I'm asking like about his wife's bra size or something like that. What kind of stuff is in there?
Garbage fire. Like I said, I can't even remember it because it's like there's so many letters and numbers. It's like an algebra equation. But
don't worry. Just like dive watches or steel.
Like I had got rid of the sports models went. The modern date just likewise. Right
there. I only have 5.
Well, and also,
do you have a Submariner?
No, I've had so many of them. I cannot. I try to harbor. At one point, I had 2 Kermits. I was going to go Frog Ranching, son, frog ranching.
Wow. And you're talking about the 16610 LV?
Yes.
Okay. What do you remember what you paid for it?
No, well, it was under five figures. I'll put it both of them under five figures.
Five figures. Okay. Okay.
And here's the other thing. It's like, oh my God, if you'd only would have kept them, if you only would have kept them, and it's like, who cares?
Yeah. Well, that's Rolex period. I mean, just live and learn. Right. Whoops.
No, and it's not even live and learn. To me, it's like if you're out of, there's no reason for hoarding, just for hoarding, frankly. And that's what was like a central tenet to my. That's another central tenet to my collection. So, it's like, for instance, I also had the what is it, the 321, the Omega.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Omega 321. I don't know what that is. I'm just
It's
struggling
the Omega
this,
Speedmaster. It's the pre-moon. It's the jeez. Was it 145.012-66? I think.
Okay.
Is the one of the last of the Omega 321s. But the thing is, and it really, really great condition.
Okay, so let's talk about this for a second, because so you got it. You remember what year you got it?
No, I can't.
Okay,
and got them is more plural.
And so what did you? Again, what did you pay for it?
Under five figures.
Under five figures. I mean, as in four figures?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, at $9,999, that's a great deal. Do you remember what you sold it for?
Well, I think them like five figures.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Box papers. Box and papers.
One was, and the other one was not.
Oh, you had two.
Yeah, I just said that. And one was Kermit Gate or whatever. That's Tanzil was also giving me so much crap about one.
I vaguely remember Kermit Gate. What was that?
I think he was trying to insinuate that mine wasn't legit or was pieced together. So actually for the Kermits, for the the pre-ceramic ones, when you look at the actual watch itself, they have the lug, the reference number at the lug between 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's 116610. It doesn't have special denomination. It's only the Rolex paperwork that has it.
Yeah, but the hands are different, right? And so were your hands fat hands, and was it the maxi dial?
Yeah, maxi case, yeah.
Okay.
Fat lips and thin hips.
All right. I guess it would be real then. I mean, that's how you tell. That's an easy tell. It's not like you could get it. I mean, if somebody doesn't know, you could.
No.
Yeah.
Disregard. No. That's the danger with the pre-ceramic Kermits, because they got to be worth so much. When a watch is worth that much money, there's temptation for unscrupulous people to pull some really underhanded, heinous stuff. Like, for instance, with 4-digit. Clyde was disbarred for bestiality. Jesus. But for instance, there's like a lot of heinous stuff going on with 4-digit, 4-digit Speedmasters, not Speedmasters, Daytonas, because there is so much money involved. So
Right.
a lot of times either they would take a Kermit and find bits and pieces here and there, or sometimes result to aftermarket.
Yeah. Well, anybody buying a regular 16610 with an aftermarket, or even just a real, and I'm talking about a regular non-Kermit 16610 non-LV, the LN, I mean, they would not have done their due diligence to get tricked by that, because the dial in the hands are a giveaway there. You know, I think
no, Austin, that is incorrect. That is so incorrect, because
okay.
it's possible to get aftermarket stuff, and you would almost have to rip that watch apart and have an expert look, and not just is how good the printing is, but does it have the proper marks underneath the dial?
Oh, so you're talking about like if it had another dial, like a
Yes.
Kermit dial. Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. Yeah, obviously we're getting into serious Frankenwatch territory with that. I'm just talking about somebody that wanted to easily just change the bezel.
Because at that point there's such a big difference between just the regular sub-date and the Kermit, that it made financial sense for the unscrupulous to pick up an old 16610 and turn it into a Franken Kermit, an aftermarket Kermit.
Okay. Yeah. That was a real kind of fail on Rolex's part to not put that information in the paperwork. It's really weird. I mean,
well, because it wasn't important. I mean, and again,
that's true.
You know, with the GMTs, it's just like, you know, you've got a pre-ceramic GMT. I can get a Pepsi bezel. I can get a black bezel. I can get a Coke bezel. You know.
Yeah, but it's funny because that was only 15 years ago, but it wasn't important. You know what I mean? I guess it became really important. And I guess in 2007, I mean, you could buy a Kermit at the ADs for discounted prices, from what I understand. So I guess, you know, people, they weren't even thinking about people switching out parts because it's desirable. Now, have you heard about the Project X? Well, I'm not going to pull any pictures up, but
I don't recall. Go ahead.
Okay. Basically what it is I guess a company got Kermits back when Kermits were not special, and shaved off the crown, changed the bezel, and then put a mark on the dial with a green X. Oh, by the way, super chat, Blue Shirt Buddha. Thanks, man.
Aww.
Austin Daniels and the Rancher. Blue Shirt. I hope you're doing well, man. And once you're, you know, in good form, I hope to see you on the stream, and I hope to come on yours as well. So great to see you. But anyway, the Project X, it's interesting because you hear about somebody shaving off the crown guards and you think, why would you do that to a Kermit? But you're looking at it through 2021 eyes. And if you were to go back in the past, the Kermit would be exactly probably what you would want to do that to, because it was sort of a lemon back in 2007. That's crazy to think it was a lemon back then. And now it's like a, you know, probably minimum a $20,000 watch. And if it's box and papers, you know, minty here in Japan, they charge 30, 40. They could pretty much just name their price. I don't know if anybody's buying them, but all right. What guys, throw you don't have to super chat it, but just put us onto a topic, please. Unless Clive has one.
Well, and like I said, also even the rare birds are going.
The rare birds. Yes, was it 1530?
Yep.
Should we?
And the 1530 and the 1630.
Okay. We'll look up the 1530. Now this is a very interesting watch. Okay. Very interesting watch. And so this kind of looks like a oyster quartz.
Yep.
In fact, it has the same case and it has the same bracelet.
Yep.
But the dial is different. It's got like that, you know, the minute marks on the rehaut.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a mechanical watch.
And it's got a chapter ring as well. It's a chapter ring instead of the rehaut, really.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And so, wow. Tell me about getting that. Like you got it, and you don't have to talk about what you paid for it, but when you got it, did you have it worked on? Have you had it worked on since?
Oh yeah. And here's the nice thing about it. See, I picked up the 1530 and the 1630 basically within a week of each other. You know, also Stickergate.
Mm-hmm.
I had those as a result
Yeah.
of Stickergate. Everyone
Sti-
talks about Stickergate.
Okay, Stickergate. If you guys don't know about Stickergate, I'll give you the 10-second version. Clive goes into an authorized dealer to get a Batman, right? A Batman on the Oyster bracelet. They set it on the thing and try to sell it to him, but they want to take the stickers off. He says, "You're not taking the stickers off." They say, "We have to take the stickers off." He walks out in a huff. Now, it's totally something I would do. It's totally something I would do, but it's like one of those decisions in retrospect that you're like, I should have just let him take the stickers off. But
Well, I come from a long line of itinerant Irish farmers, and we don't like being told what to do.
I'm the same way, man. I'm the same way. But that was before it took off, and that was like right on the verge of it taking off. So, and it was just there's a lot of past mistakes in everybody's.
That was not a mistake.
It's not a mistake.
No, because I took the money from that, and that's why I used to buy the 1630 and the 1530.
Okay, all right, so it worked out. And if you hadn't have done that, would you have bought these watches?
No.
Okay, all right. So have you had them worked on?
Yes. Now here's the thing. Also, now real quick, briefly, I'll try not to be too drag about, just because I know I'll probably cause Stephen S. to, I don't know, have a conniption and blow a blood vessel. But what happened is that Rolex in the late 70s, they're getting ready to do the Oyster Quartz. They got the cases and they got the bracelets ready. Okay.
Right.
And before the movements were, so just for a short amount of time, they thought, no, let's try and see if people like these new angular, whatever.
Yeah, very 70s looking design. I mean, it totally is a retro look.
Yes.
Can you imagine? By the way, let me interrupt you and just say, can you imagine if like that became the Datejust? I mean, that could have become the Datejust. It didn't. Thank God it didn't. But I guess if it had, maybe all of our tastes would be similar, and we'd be loving it. All right, Ron the Shrink says, "Give me a wrench, Austin's son." Hey man, I happy to do it. Do you know how to do it? I don't even know how to get wrenches.
Okay, no, you can't do it in StreamYard. You have to go into. I'll
give you. I'm not going to do it now, Ron, but consider yourself to have a future wrench for sure. Absolutely. All right, we'll figure it out, Ron.
So what happened? They took the movements from the earlier 4-digit Datejusts. They're not even hacking for people. Wow. No. I take that back. They're hacking, but they're not quickset. They're not quickset anything, and drop them in there. So,
interesting.
Of course, another positive benefit to that is that those are some of the original Rolex automatic movements, and they're one of the most robust ones that Rolex ever made.
Do you wear it a lot, or wear them a lot?
I have, but so for a period of months they put that in there just for a little bit of time. So everyone looks at the 1630 was called the rare bird. Everyone thinks it's an Oyster Quartz until they realize the second hand doesn't tick.
Hodinkee called it the rare bird, right? They came up with that.
Now the 1530 on the other hand it's a Rolex date.
Yeah, there's Jasper, by the way.
Yeah,
I met him. Nice guy, super nice guy. So let me ask you this. I'm probably interrupting you, but let me ask you this. So now I forgot what I was going to say. Here, it's coming back to me. Okay, so does it frustrate you that it's sort of, aside from that Hodinkee article, sort of a forgotten about watch? I mean, that would kind of frustrate me, because it's like I would think to myself, like, you guys, like, why? It's the way I feel about, well, a little bit about the Hydronauts. It's like I don't get why people don't get it, but even more so with this one, because I mean, this is a really special watch, but it's like everybody's just like, yeah, totally rare. Rolexes go up in price, incredibly collectible, a great asset. But as far as this one goes, meh. Not in here in Japan. I mean, they're charging a lot for this watch, but you can get it for maybe about, I've seen them for $9 here. All right, Dis. He says, "Hey, Austin, chat. Thanks, Tim, for inviting me." Huh? Okay. Hey, well, Dis, good to see you. That's Amir, by the way, and Amir is welcome on the show as well.
Oh, nice.
But
Yeah.
anyway, talk about your frustration with the lack of appreciation for the 1630 and the 1530.
No, it's not. That is not frustration. It's not. It's an opportunity. Because if everyone knew the 1530, you know how many were made?
Uh-huh. How many?
1,500.
So they say. Yeah. I mean, see, that's amazing. I mean, people see it's a victim of its own scarcity and its own rarity.
But that's the nice thing, because you have a watch, you have a Rolex that no one else does.
Wow. So that's some patina right there.
And that's kind of like the I know more about Rolex than you know about Rolex.
Yeah, but it doesn't get the love and the appreciation it should. I mean, it's weird. And so you got to ask yourself, in the future, is it going to take off at some point, or is it just going to go down as, like, I don't know, just an unappreciated relic that nobody cares about?
Pull up Chrono 24 and look up Rolex date 1530. Do me a favor. Thank you.
Will do. Now it's a 34 millimeter watch, right?
No, it's not. It's a 36.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, because I was going to say if it's 34, that's gonna really damage its collectability, because there's a lot of guys out there that.
Okay, and I want to pull my hair out when I hear people say it's almost getting to where
I know I'm the same way. I mean, I don't agree with it either, but it's just sort of.
I would pull your hair out, but I love the mullet too much.
All right.
I respect the mullet that much.
Wow. Certainly not a lot. We're going to get this up, guys. Hold on.
Oh, wait. Okay, you're talking about the screen.
Yeah, that's later. Okay, let's see.
Oh, well played, sir. Well played.
Okay, so I think his point is that
while you're pulling it up, while you're putting that screen up, Watch Cardinal has an interesting question, and I think it's worth talking about.
All right. Marco writes, thoughts on trading 11460 for the VC Historique 1942. Definitely. Let's talk about that for a second. Okay. So that's the sideways watch, right? I should pull up. We'll come back to this. I've got so many things going on. In fact, let me tell you, Marco, we're going to come back to that. Let me just kind of finish this, because
no, I think you're thinking about you're talking about the VC 1921. You're thinking about
I think I am. Yeah. Okay. I got to see it. But anyway, just without seeing it, I don't know. You want to riff on it while I look it up? Before we do, I think you want to make your point about this, and that there are not many around. This one is, wow, it's nearly 40,000. Geez, look at that. Now, this is like the cheapest one. So my take on this is that, okay, I don't think anybody is or would pay this for them. Do I think they are worth this? I think they might be in the future, but I don't think they're worth any of these prices now. I think maybe 15 at the most right now, but people don't price them for what they're worth now. People don't price Rolex watches like that. They price them for like what they think they'll become in the future. And I think possibly this could happen in the future, but things would have to happen for this price to be realized. And I'm talking a lot of attention would have to be put on the watch. Hodinkee maybe featured in a movie, in popular media in some way. And I don't see that happening. So that's my take on it. Do you want to speculate on the future of that watch?
Let's see. Well, how many are available?
I think it's dangerously unappreciated.
Yeah, dangerously unappreciated. And the ones you have pulled up now. So this is Chrono 24, right?
Yeah.
So what, 5? That's the most I've seen in a while. There for the longest time, there for a matter of months, there was just one post-owned Chrono 24.
Now, the funny thing is they all belong to Clive. All of those.
No.
All right. So I'm looking up the Historique.
Now, also, there's also, I've also heard that possibly, that Gerald Genta may have been involved with the design of this watch.
Yeah, I've heard that as well with
But-
oyster cord and that. It's all angular, and maybe that's why I don't like it. I'm not really a fan of his
Right.
designs, but
And
a
that's
lot of
fine.
people
That's
are.
perfectly fine. But Gerald Genta Jr. just retired from Rolex.
I didn't know that. That's the son.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know the son worked for Rolex. Wow,
Yep.
that's interesting. Okay, I think I found it. Okay, let me. Okay, so now, I mean, these are completely different watches. Okay, I mean, this is a completely different watch than the 114060, the no date sub. You guys have seen those. I don't need to pull those up, but I mean, look, this is obviously a dress watch, and what is it? Is it an annual calendar? Probably an annual calendar. Day, month, the pointer date, center second hands. I mean, this is a great dress watch if you're into dress watches. Really expensive, but I mean, it is a dress watch. One of the Holy Trinity, and
Triple calendar chronograph.
right, triple calendar chronograph.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a chronograph. This is not a chronograph, is it?
Oh,
It's
I'm
not
sorry. Triple calendar. My bad. My bad.
So, what would I do? What would I do? Well, I'm a Rolex guy, so and I'm not into this style of watch. But let's just forget about that for a second. Let's just try to be a little bit objective, and it would make Marco's collection a little bit better and more well-rounded. He would have that dress watch, a really good dress watch from the Holy Trinity, and then he would have his Bruce Wayne, as he calls it, right? The GMT Master 2 on a Jubilee bracelet. So I from that standpoint, I think it's a good move. Okay. But again, we're talking about Rolex. So we have to take into the consideration the future. And I think prices are only going up. A lot of people say it's a bubble. I don't believe it is. And so I think this watch in the future might go down. I think this is probably one of those watches that the older it gets, the more it'll decrease in value. And I think the sub that he has, I think, is the opposite. But at this point in time, it's about an even trade, right? So I probably wouldn't do it for that reason. But guys, in the comment section, let Marco know what you would do. What's your thoughts on it, Clive?
Okay, let me address something about Marco. And I there have been times where we've kind of boxed a little bit, and I've taken a few crappy shots at him. Okay,
we all have.
Oh, yeah.
It's the watch community, right?
yeah. Well, it's like sometimes he has this baby seal, look to him or whatever, like a really annoying.
What kind of apology is this? Or no,
Well,
I get it. I get it.
But however, I will say this.
Mhm.
I do. The more, God help me, the more I listen to, the more I actually like him because he actually goes in and looks at other brands. At least he's not talking about nothing but Rolex and Patek Philippe.
I know. Yeah, he's a much more well-rounded watch guy than I am. I've embraced my passion for Rolexes. I used to fret about that and think, I wish I was like sort of a more well-rounded. One of the reasons I'm doing these live streams, by the way, is when people ask these questions, I want to pull these up. I want to sort of educate myself about other watches. But you're absolutely right. Marco is sort of more well-rounded. And that's why, because he's not so Rolex focused, I think this could make sense. But I just don't think financially in 10 years, I don't think it will. And that's, of course, assuming that the sub and Rolex, the bubble doesn't burst. And there are people that believe that the bubble will burst. I don't think it will. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this the watch? Is this the kind of watch that's going to go up in value? Or I don't think it is. I mean, I think it's 19,000. It's Vacheron Constantin, highly complicated. I want to say this probably sells for what, 30, 40 retail? Am I right?
Well,
Marco
and also,
knows.
and also here, the nice thing about Vacheron is that I've heard like the servicing costs, even though it's Holy Trinity, is actually quite reasonable. It's almost more like Rolex servicing costs as opposed to say Patek Philippe or Audemars Piguet. Audemars Piguet will tear you a new one.
I wouldn't care about that. I wouldn't care about that. Another thing I'd think about. Look, I think when it comes to the Holy Trinity, I think we all have our proclivities. Okay, and for me, AP has never resonated with me. Period. It's just I'm not a fan of the style. I respect the watch brand, and I know they're very quality watches. So no disrespect to them, but it's just not. They don't resonate with me, and the people that wear them usually are not my kind of people either. I mean, that's a part of it. VC I actually really like. But of the three, I think Patek is the way to go. But the thing is, you can't get this watch in a Patek form for this kind of price. So really, this is good value. But whenever you bring up value in terms of luxury, I don't know. I just have to ask, like, does that make sense? You know, I mean, there's no such thing as value luxury, right?
Your perspective, frankly, in Austin, and like I said, you really know your stuff. You love Rolex. You adore Rolex. You live and you breathe and you everything else Rolex. Okay, and that's great. That's beautiful. I mean, and it's a great brand. There is so much about that brand that has so much value. But right now in the watch market, everything is going nuts.
Yeah.
If anything has caught the notice of us as collectors or the watch buying community, it's disappearing. It's all being snatched up.
Right. I think this is Rolex. What do you call it? I think this is
Rolex refugees.
Well, I think it's Rolex's. Whatever's happening with Rolex is going over into other brands, and people are looking at watches, period, as assets. All right. So Daniel Katz, thank you, Daniel, for the super chat. He says, Austin is greater than harboring as affordable high horology. And I think he's not talking about me. He's probably
Austin is less than harboring. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Austin is less than harboring as affordable high horology. Is Austin a watch brand or something? Am I missing something?
Know.
Harboring. Daniel, go ahead and just kind of clarify that in a regular comment. I don't know if you're talking about me or another brand.
Harboring. Harboring too is an affordable high horology. So someone else is watching Bill Sanders. So, yeah. German made, a lot of precision, very accurate, very well made watch, low production numbers. Okay. I think, and it's really hard to see what they sell for use because a lot of people get them. A lot of people get them and they don't sell them, which is good.
That's interesting. Okay, if you make few enough, I think you could at least tell yourself that it retains value. But those kind of micro here, I'm gonna pull it up and we'll take a look at it. But I gotta find it first. Hold on. Here, I'll check it out on Chrono. Harboring.
But and at one point, Archie was bagging on a Kerry Voutilanen, and I was about ready to pull. I literally was about ready to pull out my hair, even though, like unlike other people on YouTube, I still have my hair. I will, but literally want to pull out my hair and come unglued because Kerry Voutilanen is literally. So they're a reason why those watches sell for six figures. It's like there's a difference between Rolex and Patek Philippe, even, and
Okay. Whoops.
Roger Smith and Kerry Voutilanen.
Hold on, guys. We'll get to it. Okay. All right.
Is harboring considered affordable high horology? I think. Well, Daniel, you know what I'm going to say. Man. Yeah.
Look, I don't want to pretend to know anything about the brand. Look, I feel a lot of micro brands. Look, this is a market that if you have a watchmaker and somebody that can do finishing on watches, and maybe a guy that can machine the watches, I mean, a team of like 5 people or maybe 10 people can kind of get together and they can start to do this. And I don't want to say it's easy. You need talent to do it, but I'm saying it's much easier to do it than to start a brand to compete with Rolex. So if you wanted to start a watch brand and you got together those people, again, 10 people, this is the kind of watch that you would probably make, and you would want to go for the like really expensive, sort of time consuming, angle and stuff. And so I feel like this may be one of those watches. And again, I don't know anything about the movement. I mean, if let's just assume that it's in-house, they did it themselves. I mean, it's got a really interesting movement.
Yes.
But that would be really important. I mean, if this was like a copy of a movement or like the third-party movement, I'd say like Run for the Hills.
Right.
But even if it's and this is 49 out of 50. So they're going for the artisan thing. If you like it, maybe, but I definitely wouldn't expect to make any money on this. And I know that's not what watches, it's not always about that, but
well,
you gotta be careful.
Aren't we really, really, really spoiled? Because back in the day, as you know, it wasn't about making money. It was people gravitated towards Rolex because they would not lose as much money. It was value retention rather than value appreciation.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. So this is Marcelo, and you've probably seen Marcelo's watches on my channel. Now, Marcelo, how are you doing, man?
Fine. I needed to relax the baby. Shut up.
Oh, that's such a cute bird. I've heard that. I've heard that bird on the phone when I talk to you, but I've never actually seen it. So, what are you wearing right now? Let me guess. The GMT Master 2 with meteorite dial. Yes.
Very close, but I decided actually today to wear the hook, the Starbucks.
Yeah.
Let me see if I do.
Kermit Starbucks.
Yeah.
Okay,
Look,
cool.
I came to a conclusion that if Marco can change the name of Batgirl to Bruce Wayne, I think I allowed to change the name of Cermak to Starbucks. I think it's okay. You want to hear the conversation? Yeah, really?
Well,
okay.
It's your watch, so you can call it whatever you want.
The Rainbow Connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Yeah, I can't remember the conversation of Starbucks.
So Marcelo, you want to plug your channel? In fact, Marcelo just started a channel. I'll plug it for you, Marcelo. Okay, it's called Marcelo Time. Put a link in the description if you want, and you guys can check it out. I mean, Marcelo, look, this guy loves to talk. He loves to talk. So if you want to hear a guy riff on his watch thoughts, he's the guy for you. So Marcelo, give us a topic, if you will. I don't want to put you on the spot, but what should we talk about? Should we talk about? Go ahead.
I mean, I think yesterday, if it's okay, something that I talked to you about when I had that feeling that I thought that I lost my meteorite dial, remember? And then I told you about this. That I think that would be interesting, to know when you as a honest guy find, maybe in a coffee shop or maybe in a library, you find a Rolex and you want to be nice, maybe return it to somebody, right? To the original owner. And we talked about this, I think yesterday, and it become complicated because Rolex usually don't, if you return it to Rolex, so Rolex usually don't contact the original owner. They actually they don't return the watch, and you just have the watch, and you don't have no box, nothing. You don't have information of it's not like somebody lost the wallet. You don't have no way to contact the guy, and how you return to the original owner. That would be nice to know.
That would be a real shame because it's not like meteorite dials just fall from the sky.
Nice one.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, look, so, I mean, you're saying if you found one, what would you do? I mean,
or any Rolex, right?
I mean, I would take it. I would take it to the police box here in Japan. That's what you do with things. And then that's the other. I mean,
well,
that's it.
In my old corner of the fire states, if you find something and if you can track it, you don't turn it in, you keep it. It's actually a criminal offense.
Okay, it is. I'm pretty sure here in Japan as well. In fact, I think just finding things. I don't know what's the deal with, like, 500 yen or like, $5, the $5 coins, or like the 1 yen coins or something. Obviously, you don't need to take those to the police box, but I'm pretty sure that's a crime here to just keep something. I mean, this is not a finders keepers culture for sure. So I'm pretty sure people would take it back. But I want to bring up Paul Thorpe and his GMT Master 2. All right, it was found. Well, he was scammed out of it, and then it turned up at a service center in Italy, and a guy had taken it to a service center, and they contacted him, but he could never get the watch. And I've got some thoughts on that. Now, eventually he just kind of gave up and said, I don't want to deal with it anymore. And I think if he had been the original owner, I think it would have been a lot easier to get it back. And my only point in saying this is that we, myself included, especially me, in fact, I mean, I'm a pre-owned guy. All of my watches are pre-owned. And so I think if I were to lose one of my watches and it were to turn up at RSC, I think I would have a lot harder time getting it back than Marcelo, because you bought yours directly. I mean, you're registered with Rolex. You have have the card. You have the receipt from Rolex. And I have
some watches like that. But here is the thing. Think about it as a car, right? I mean, even when you buy a used car, Austin, this is actually very related to you. Your watches in RAC are registered on your name. No.
Yeah, but that's not as tight, and it's not for the more watches change hands, the stickier it gets. You know what I mean? And so if you were a person that bought the watch first and then you legitimately sold it, I mean, I reckon that you could probably even claim it. And look, like, this is really shady stuff, and I'm not advocating don't do this, anybody, but you could perhaps report it stolen, and then I don't know. I mean, you were the original owner. I mean, it would be the onus would be on the person that eventually got it to produce all the receipts, and that goes to, like, when you buy pre-owned watches. I mean, when you buy them pre-owned watches, like, you need to make sure you get them from, in my opinion, brick and mortar store. Keep those receipts well until you take it to Rolex to make sure everything is straight. But let me just say one thing about,
if for no other reason, to prove that you're a purchaser in good faith.
Yeah, and in globally, I would just ask: does it related to all other watch brands, or specifically Rolex problem now?
I mean, it's stolen watch is a stolen watch. I think so. I think it applies to everything. I don't know about you guys, but I remember watching Paul's video, him saying, look, I'm just going to let it go. And hopefully the guy gets it back. I mean, it's not, he probably didn't steal it. So at least somebody will get the watch. I heard that video, and that
would be horrible.
I thought, no, don't do it, Paul, don't do it. I understand why he probably wanted to do that. He just didn't want to think about it anymore. He wanted to let it go. He just wanted sort of, to take the stress off and just that mental anguish of, like, what's going on, and just kind of cut that bit out. But I was telling Marcelo the other day, I would fight. I would never give up. I mean, I might not give it the watch back, but I would never say, okay, yeah, I just couldn't do it. My sense of justice and just like, but anyway, I can understand why he did that, just kind of wanting to move on with his life. So, Marcelo, hey, you want to talk a little bit AD gossip?
That would be interesting. I mean, something that yeah, I had look, by the way, when I opened my channel, I mean I did some videos about the Rolex that I own, and I don't mention that actually I got that direct. I had a relationship with Rolex. I didn't want it to, how we say, irritate or nervous other people. But the thing was also that I promised my AD, that I will not reveal that actually I got the watches from from
Which
them,
AD?
because
I mean, obviously, like they're talking about, they don't want you to say what authorized dealer you got them from. Okay, so let's
no,
just
but
be
in
really,
general, yeah.
okay. So let's just be really cagey about it and just say, okay, we're not going to talk about what AD he got it from. In fact, we're not even going to say that he got his Rolex watches from an authorized dealer. We're not even going to say that. We're just going to say a store, and it could be I don't know what kind of
It could be a
store.
resale store. It could be a pawn shop.
Possibly.
be
We don't know. But Marcelo, what did they tell you when they sold you the watch about bringing other people there?
Well, it was like you have this feeling that, I mean, they say yeah, in case you bring some, you introduce somebody that is not, let's say, my wife or family, so we might create some problem, like you might lose the.
Oh, I think you stopped. I'll have to finish his thought. He was getting to the climax, the good part. Basically,
wait, okay, sorry.
It was like it was okay. Again, we're not saying that. We're just saying this is a store. Okay, but basically, it's a situation where it's like if you bring anybody or talk to anybody or tell anybody, like you're done. I mean, think about that. That's a retail store. I mean, imagine if you were to go to Casio, right? And you're buying a Casio watch and you're like, man, this is a really cool watch. My friend would love this watch. They'd be like, man, here's a card, here's a brochure, like bring your friend in. I mean, that would be what they would want. But it's interesting. Rolex ADs are now like, they secretly sell, and it's I mean, it's such a interesting dynamic, and the fact that you can ruin your relationship by like bringing a friend there. I mean, I'm sure it depends on the authorized dealer. Well, no, I mean, the store. Okay.
Or it depends
But
which
anyway.
friend. I mean, like, let's just say there's someone I know, and let's just call him, to try to keep him slightly anonymous, let's just call him Han Danes.
Okay.
Han Danes, a Star
All
Wars story.
Mhm.
Now, what happened is Han had a friend in the, let's just say, the financial sector. They took to his favorite AD. That guy was buying all sorts of watches from that AD.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to say who it is, but it's definitely an Italian sounding name. But and at which point he bought enough to where, lo and behold, magically a Rolex Daytona appeared.
Mm-hmm. A Daytona appeared? What?
Yeah. And so the guy took the Daytona, he promptly flipped it.
Mhm.
Rolex in Switzerland quickly picked up on it. He sold it online, was stupid about how he sold it.
Uh-huh.
Jumped the dealer's butt for it. And then the dealer then jumped not only the purchaser, but also was dumping down the throat of Han Danes. So apparently it's almost like the mafia.
Yeah.
Marcelo, no offense.
Yeah. So yes. And that's why here in Japan,
of course, I realize you're probably an Italian man wearing a tracksuit.
Actually, he's from Israel. Actually,
you have my every respect. I don't want to point that out.
But yeah, that's why here in Japan, if you go and see, the gray market dealers and stuff, they will actually put a little black sticker on the dial so you can't check the serial number, because I don't think they want people from Rolex or people connected to Rolex going in, kind of making notes and then sending it back. So anyway, let's. I've muted Marcelo just because that was an interesting story. But let me unmute him. All right, so you're back.
Before appearing,
I finished your story. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Before I feel like a thermometer, like suddenly the phone is overheated. It never happened to me something like that. Something very weird with these iPhones lately. Yeah, but basically what I wanted to say is, I mean, I think I told Rosten at that time. I mean, all the time when I went to Rolex, say, even before I got the Meteor dial, it was like you're getting this feeling. You never know if you really getting the thing or not getting. You feel you don't know if you're doing something wrong or not. And last time, remember when I told you that I'm basically waiting for the Platina Daytona again? I don't know, basically what's going on with that stuff. It can take years. It can never come out. I don't know. Maybe they want me to buy. Like we talk about. Maybe they want me to buy a Rolex that is just there, like a kind of a shitter for your wife or something like that. I don't know. You always getting confused with them, basically. So
Marcelo it took years for his Rolexes to come in. Guys, we've hit just over an hour. I think I'm going to end it here. Feel free to come on in the future, guys. And when I say guys, people in the chat, thank you for chatting. Thank you for watching. This will be the last live show ever on this channel. It's going to be on the other channel. So find that one, subscribe to that. We're going to do the live shows on that channel once YouTube approves it. Pretty much anybody is welcome on. I mean, I want people to come on and if you're successful at YouTube and you want to come on, that's okay with me. I don't mind. Okay. And anything else that I need to say? I think
are you going to get really, really drunk on the new channel like the old one?
Well, I thought about putting some bottles up there. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. I maybe not. We'll see. I tell you what. If the other channel does well, I get like over 1,000 subscribers, and maybe we'll celebrate with a drunk stream. But until then, probably keep it sober.
You want to play?
Thank you guys for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.
She loves Platina Daytona.